Hello, I'm Dr. Dean Lombardo, and welcome to our webinar, Why Diets Fail and How They Can Be Dangerous. Anyone who's ever been on a diet program and was really frustrated because they couldn't achieve long-term results, or they had felt that their individual needs weren't met, will definitely want to hang around and listen to what we have to say in today's program. A little bit of information about me. I was born, raised, and educated in New York. Try not to hold it against me. My grandfather, who lived with us, turned to nutrition at age 60. He was really in bad shape. He had inflammation of the veins in his legs. He had hypertension. He was overweight. He was developing diabetes. And he turned to nutrition 40 years ago to really take charge of his failing health. And to his credit, he lived well into his 90s. And I just thought he was a fascinating fellow. And he had said to me, "You like nutrition? You want to practice nutrition? Well, you know what? There's a couple of things you should do first. First, get a degree in the sciences, learn how to think like a scientist, and then after that, get a decent doctorate level medical level education where you know how to diagnose, you know about health, you know about prevention, you know about wellness. And after you do all that, you can become a nutritionist." So that's exactly what I did. And I was very fortunate because I did all the nutrition work for some of the patients there at New York Langone Medical Center from their cardiology department, which was right down the road from my office. And these were folks who, many of them were in very fragile states. They just had open heart surgery. They just had valve replacements. They had stents put in. They had elevated cholesterol levels. And my job was to get them healthy and to get them better and bring cholesterol levels down and to really give them all the tools that they needed to live a good, healthy life. And I was also very fortunate in that I have 20 years of experience in the nutritional treatment of diabetes, kidney disease, hypertension, obesity, and other conditions that do respond to nutritional care. And I was elected to the board of directors while up in New York to an organization called Long Island Post-Op, which is myself, two bariatric surgeons, clinical social worker. And my job, was to take these patients who were going to get bariatric surgery, clients, and teach them how to eat. The surgery was the tool that they needed in order to lose the weight, and my job was to give them the tools that they really needed afterwards, is to maintain their losses for the rest of their lives. And I was just very, very, very fortunate in that I've been able to help the thousands of people take control of their weight, decrease medicines whenever possible, and for them to really take control of their lives. Now, before we get into the nuts and bolts of today's discussion, I want to tell you about something that's very exciting. We have the technology now that makes it possible for us to help anyone, no matter where they live. We have a virtual weight management program, sometimes referred to as telehealth, and this allows you to lose weight from the comfort of your own home. We communicate with you regularly through Skype, by phone, and by text to guide you through the entire process while relaxing on your favorite couch. We currently have clients throughout the United States who have reached their weight loss goals in this manner, and we are very, very excited about it. Now, during my career as a nutritionist in New York, I've treated folks with many different conditions, such as diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, heart disease, polycystic ovary disease, fatty liver disease, kidney disease, sleep apnea, epilepsy, autism, Parkinson's disease, and multiple sclerosis. Now, one thing we do know for sure is that all these conditions respond to dietary changes. Okay, here are some statistics. 65% of adults here in Florida are at an unhealthy weight, and this is from the Florida Department of Health. Now, this figure also translates pretty much for the rest of the country as well. And the Center for Disease Control and Prevention says that, hey, you know, obesity in today's society is public enemy number one. Now, through my 20-plus year career of practicing nutrition when I was in New York, one thing I did notice is that the children are getting larger and larger and larger. I don't mean taller, they're just getting more and more obese and overweight. And 1 out of 3 children are actually considered obese. In fact, I think the CDC had sent out some projections for the year 2050 to say that probably 1 out of every 3 American would be actually at an unhealthy weight and also would have diabetes by that time. And the problem with this is that the healthcare costs of the treatment of all these conditions, especially related to obesity, such as hypertension, such as heart disease, and others, the healthcare costs are staggering. And if we can avoid this, boy, we'll be a lot healthier and we'll certainly save the system a lot of money. There are health consequences and complications associated with obesity. All causes of death, mortality are related to this. Cancer is related, heart disease, hypertension, elevated cholesterol levels, type 2 diabetes, osteoarthritis, liver and gallbladder disease, plus being overweight has a very, very powerful impact on our self-esteem. And I'm not here to shame anybody, and I've never shamed anybody in my life, but there's not a single person I've met over the last 21 years in private practice, not a single person who was overweight who didn't wish that they were slim and didn't wish that they had control. Or worse yet, many believe that there's nothing that they can do about it. My job has been over the last 20 plus years is to give people control, meet them where they are, and show them how to live lean for a lifetime. In today's society, diabetes is a global emerging epidemic. From the World Health Organization, they state that 347 million people worldwide have diabetes. And by the year 2030, diabetes will be the 7th leading cause of death in the world. I mean, currently, well, at least 2012, there are 1.5 million people who had diabetes. And the thing with this is that 90% of diabetes can be prevented. And this, again, is from the World Health Organization. If any of you have ever found yourself in a position where you weren't happy with your weight, maybe your blood work came back and some of their levels were a little bit elevated, blood sugar levels or cholesterol levels were elevated. And what are we told to do? We're all told the same thing. Eat healthy, be more active, and lose weight. And to me, that's kind of insulting because I think we already knew that to begin with. So we're told what to do, but how many of us are really told how to do it? And how many of us are actually guided through the program to find our way through this and to make changes for a lifetime? Not many. Some of us turn to the food pyramid. And this was developed in 1972, actually, in Sweden, as their food prices were skyrocketing. So what the government did was they developed this so they could give some options of some reasonably cheap foods that were semi-nutritious. And the USDA published this, adopted it in 1992. Now, the thing is that most Americans already eat according to this food pyramid, number one. And number two, this food pyramid is definitely not specific to any one person individually. And we also may find, especially the folks who are looking to really lose their weight or they're looking to control diabetes, find that the food pyramid really doesn't help them much at all. In fact, it can make their conditions worse. There have also been several variations of this food pyramid over time. One of the more recent ones, which you may have seen, is the food plate, which is pretty much the same thing, but they just give you a different way of looking at it. Now, if any of you have been away to college, or you have a son, a daughter, a grandchild who's been away to college, or you've ever seen the way that a college student eats, we have what I call the college food pyramid. Now, this is my attempt at humor. And in college, they consume anything that's free, things that are mostly carbs because they're inexpensive, fast food because it's usually inexpensive and it's quick, plenty of alcohol, and of course the thing that they eat least of is anything that's healthy and any well-balanced meals. Now here we have the Irish food pyramid. And this is, again, folks, my attempt at humor. My wife is part Irish, and she'll tell you that that's the best part of her, and she's absolutely right. But here we have a diet which is mostly potatoes, meats, and whiskey, ale, stouts, lagers, and of course everything else. My point being is that these food pyramids do not individualize anything to anybody. Okay? It gives us information, but it's not specific to the individual. That's the whole point here. And how do we eat with medications? Well, just to use diabetes as an example, most of the diabetes diets are based on the current level of medications that you're taking. See? In other words, your diet has to meet the needs of your insulin or of your oral medications that you're taking. See, so it's based on maintaining the condition. However, it's kind of backwards because diet should be based on lowering your average blood sugar levels. It should be based on lowering your blood pressure, lowering your blood cholesterol, and decreasing the need for medications whenever possible. And why do diets fail? Well, for starters, they're too restricted and limited. They have this one-size-fits-all approach. Ever done a fad diet? Most of them use controlled starvation. There's no long-term solution built into it, and there's a lack of proper supervision. And this is the reason why 95% of all dieters within 1 year regain all the weight that they've lost plus more. And there are certain dangers to dieting. For starters, increased risk of heart attack, heart muscle loss, and skeletal muscle loss, right? And this is all due to protein deficiency. Blood vessel damage, arterial sclerosis. Our body has a response to starvation that's very specific. And also nutritional deficiencies, headaches, constipation, decreased metabolic rate, tiredness, fatigue, and a loss of bone density. There are dangers, folks, to dieting, which is why dieting should be supervised and dieting should be healthy. So the questions are, how do we avoid yo-yo dieting? How do we avoid dangerous diets? And how do we avoid wasting time and, of course, wasting money? Now, with an individualized nutrition program, we have to start with the fact that everybody's an individual. We have different body types, different blood values, activity levels, medical conditions, different metabolic rates. And all individualized nutrition programs must be properly supervised. And I don't mean just the person with the right letters after their names, but it has to have somebody who's in control that you see, who has the right education and the right experience in order to guide you through this process properly. There are several components to a proper program. And the first thing is we have to know what your medical history is, if there's anything that we need to worry about in your blood values, and whenever possible to measure body composition, your resting metabolic rate. We need to know your activity level, what your current daily intake is, and then of course, we have to educate and then develop a long-term strategy so that you can lose the weight and keep it off and live lean for a lifetime. Any good weight loss program starts by losing body fat. And any program that offers you rapid weight loss and has you losing muscle instead of body fat is dangerous. The basis of what we do here at Live Lean was originally developed in the medical community. And this particular protocol was used for weight loss for over 70 years. And it's the basis for the largest obesity treatment center for 40 plus years. And it's based on sound scientific and physiologic principles, and clinical trials have actually proven the effectiveness and safety as long as doctor supervision is provided and the program is followed. You may ask, why am I hearing about this now? Well, in the United States, this type of program has only been used by the rich and the famous due to the costs. And since then, the costs have come down significantly. Now, many movie stars use similar programs to get back into shape very, very fast. You know, why do you think that after having a baby, they look so good in such a short period of time? Now, what is the diet program that we have here at Live Lean? Well, first of all, it's doctor supervised, and it's a program that's composed of a formula, amino acid formula. There's no shots, there's no hormones, there's no drugs. We use vitamins, and these help us with detoxification. They help control cravings. And we work with dietary and behavioral modifications. And everybody gets weekly supervision by a doctor with experience. Now, doctor supervision does ensure that it's safe for both men and women. There are some contraindications. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, we have to take care of that on an individual basis to see if you're a good candidate for us. And we cannot take care of somebody who has an active form of cancer that's being treated with chemotherapy. Okay, what do these weight loss drops actually do? They help suppress appetite, boost our metabolism, and help push up our energy level, and it causes our body to burn more fat. It helps support healthy insulin levels, and it helps establish a new set point for our body mass index and our metabolic rate, and these drops are both safe and effective. Now, here's some before and after pictures which are typical for this program. Barb lost 27 pounds and 25 inches in 42 days. Dan lost 33 pounds and 29 inches in 42 days. Now, traditional medical weight loss is very expensive. It requires daily injections. And we need to know that excessive fat loss does cause toxicity in our bodies. And folks who have gone through that program report to us and say that they've always felt hungry throughout the entire process. And how does the program work? Well, we start with behavioral guidance and a good calorie reduced diet. And the program itself works beautifully to burn fat, suppress hunger, and to eliminate cravings. See, and we establish new set points for metabolic rate and for our body mass index, and we create new behavioral dietary habits. And this is the key to the long-term solution. What is the low-calorie diet? Well, we're going to consume 2 meals per day. We're going to consume certain blends and amounts of lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, and some bread. and we're going to consume low glycemic index foods and anti-inflammatory foods. Some more program success stories. Jeannie lost 20 pounds and 20 inches in just 21 days. Kristen lost 52 pounds and 41 inches in just 9 weeks. As I stated earlier, you'll lose mostly body fat, and any diet program that promises weight loss that has you losing muscle is indeed dangerous. Now, how many calories do you think is in 1 pound of body fat? Well, in reality, there's about 3,500 calories in just that 1 pound of body fat. And the average client will lose between 1 and 2 pounds of body fat per day. That's between 3,500 and 7,000 calories per day. Many of our female clients lose between 2 and 3 dress sizes, and that's 20 plus pounds. Males typically lose between 25 and 35 pounds, and this is all within a 42-day period. Well, what about exercise? Well, we know that through diet, we can burn about 1 pound of body fat per day. That's 3,500 calories. Now, in order to exercise away 3,500 calories or 1 pound of body fat, we would have to run the equivalent of a New York City marathon. Okay? So exercise alone is not enough. Okay, let's do the math. You will be consuming nearly 2 pounds of nutrient-dense, low glycemic index anti-inflammatory foods every day. And from a caloric standpoint, let's just say you're eating 800 calories a day of these low glycemic index anti-inflammatory foods that are very nutrient dense, and your body uses 2,500 calories a day. Well, there's a deficit of 1,700 calories. So dietary modification and nutritional support to help you lose weight without starvation, and we give you what you need for long-term weight loss. Why this program? Well, our design formulation works without the need for prescriptions and or injections. We use L-carnitine for metabolism boost, fatty acid transportation, and energy production. And we use multiple other amino acids to aid in detoxification, in heart health, in blood sugar level regulation, in fatty acid transportation and metabolism, and for healthier skin and muscles. And we also use a liquid B12 for higher energy levels and increased metabolism without jitters. Roland lost 56 pounds and 34 inches in just 42 days. Sherry lost 55 pounds and 41 inches in 12 weeks. And here's your typical meal, which is composed of very low glycemic index foods, plenty of proteins, and fruits. We provide everybody with a comprehensive instruction manual and instructions on the website as well. We give you all of the information you need to have a fast, long-term weight loss. Also a 60-page losing phase friendly recipe book, and we give you delicious recipes to keep the diet interesting, just to say no to bland foods. Your daily weight log and food journal we provide for you, which we do want you to enter every day, and we keep you on track by causing you to look at your weight and think about your dietary and behavioral choices every day. More success stories. Angelica lost 26 pounds and 24 inches in 42 days. Dr. Brown lost over 100 pounds in 10 months. Can you lose weight and save money? The answer is yes. You'll save approximately $460 in food savings just in the first 42 days. Over the course of a year, you'll save over $3,000, especially when you think about how many times you buy snacks, lunches, or order in pizza or go out to dinner. Okay, let's look at the time comparison to lose 20 pounds. Now, with our program, it takes about 3.5 to 6 weeks typically, and that program is doctor supervised and it burns fat. Jenny Craig takes about 8 to 12 weeks. It's not a fat burner and it's not doctor supervised. Nutrisystem, 10 to 12 weeks, not a fat burner, not doctor supervised. And Weight Watchers takes about 12 weeks, not a fat burner and not doctor supervised. Is the program safe? The answer is yes. It's safe if you have diabetes, thyroid problems, high blood pressure, heart problems, and if you're cancer-free for 2 years, or if you've had a hysterectomy. As far as medicines are concerned, there are no known contraindications to any medications. Now, certain medications will have us losing weight a little slower, and certain medications will have substantial loss in inches, but nonetheless, there's no contraindications to any medicine. Dawn lost 96 pounds and 46 inches in under 5 months. Kristen lost 32 pounds 24.5 inches in just 42 days. A few more questions. Where are the products made? Well, the products are all made in the US and they're manufactured in labs that are FDA certified. Does my insurance pay? Well, no, but many times you can use your Flex Savings account or Health Savings account as it meets the new federal guidelines for coverage reimbursements. We get asked, well, can I buy it cheaper online? And the answer is no. The program is not available online or over the counter. It's a comprehensive doctor-supervised program. Now, our nutritional formulations are proprietary and they're designed to go hand in hand with the support your body needs while you participate in the program. Now, the key to the program is the comprehensive doctor supervision and management. That's critical to the process. Any process is only as good as the supervision. Any person or company that implies that you'll be able to lose weight and keep it off just by taking drops and not by modifying your diet or behavioral changes is selling you snake oil. Kristen lost 25 pounds and 19.25 inches in 42 days. Lisa lost 27 pounds and 20.5 inches in 42 days. Bill lost 160 pounds and 72.5 inches. And here are some others who have lost weight. You may recall earlier in the program I spoke about my grandfather, the gentleman who turned to nutrition to take charge of his failing health, the gentleman who put me on the right path so that I can do what I do. His name was Arthur Alaka, and he had said something to me that I remember to this day. And he had said to me, he says, you know, what's the use of living if you die at 60 and they bury you at 90? And to me, that was so important because it's a quality of life statement, which said, you want to live life. You want to enjoy life. My grandfather called them the walking dead, meaning they are walking through life ready to die. I call them vertically ill, meaning they're not sick enough to be in bed, but they'll be there very soon. We don't have to live this way, folks. There is a better way. We can take charge of our life, take control of our lives, and it all starts with being lean and learning how to live lean for your entire life. Well, I really appreciate everyone who joined us today from around the country. It was a genuine pleasure for me, and I really want to show my gratitude, my appreciation. So I have a few gifts for everyone who attended here today. The first is a humorous yet honest look at dieting and all the things that we do to sabotage ourselves. And I really think you'll find it interesting. It's titled Dr. Lombardo's Tips and Quips, and I'll send that off to everyone who took the time to be with me here today. Now, I know that some of you are frustrated with your weight or unhappy with what you see in the mirror. Some of you have lost weight and gained it all back, and maybe multiple times. And some of you may have been told by your doctor that you need to get healthy again before it's too late. Or maybe you were told that if you got on a weight loss program, you could possibly reduce the need for medicines. But I think most of you are truly sincere about taking control of your health. And the final gift that I have for everybody is a complimentary consult with me. And we'll run a really good health history, find out what your individual needs are, and how to reach and maintain your goals for a lifetime. And you can start taking control today. So if you live in or near Ocala, Florida, call 352-425-7648 to schedule an in-office complimentary consult. And if you live outside the immediate area or in another state, you can call 888-383-9197 and we'll schedule a complimentary phone consult where we can do a good history, we can find out what your individual needs are, and I can show you how to reach and maintain those goals. Now, the complimentary offer is valid for 24 hours, so please take advantage of all these gifts, and you can get tremendous value from all of this and possibly change your life in ways that you never thought possible. And you can live lean for a lifetime.